The Halloween update is about to drop in Anime World Tower Defense, and since the update looks really hyped, that means that the game is going to get a lot of new players. And I still remember back when I started playing the game, everything was really confusing, so I just want to make sure that the new players don't struggle too much. So, since you guys showed a lot of love on my last beginner's guide, and a lot of new content has been added in Anime World Tower Defense since then, I thought I'd walk you guys through exactly how to start Anime World Tower Defense again, so that you can get it really strong really quickly. But just before we start the video, I want to thank all of you guys for the support recently. You guys have been going crazy on all of my recent videos, so I just want to thank you guys for that. And we're actually getting really close to 1,000 subs as well somehow, so if you guys are enjoying this video and this video helps you out, please subscribe, it really means a lot. But anyways, let's start with the video. Okay, so I made a little list on my left just to make sure that I go through everything exactly as I plan it. And the first thing that I have written down is probably the first thing you want to do when you're a new player, especially in a tower defense game. It's summon for characters. And in this game, to summon for characters, you come here and there's multiple different banners. The dream banner is brand new and it stays here every single hour. I don't think they're going to remove it for Halloween, but the other two banners that you guys can see here get replaced every hour. And as a new player, I'm sure you're wondering which banner to start summoning on, and that's exactly what I'm here for. So I'm going to tell you guys exactly which banners to look out for. And before we even start, I just want to say the dream banner that doesn't go away is actually really good. I would really recommend it if you're a new player, and the reason for that is, first of all, the ultra rare and LR rates are increased. The secrets on the banner, which are on the far right here, are all really good, I would say. Then the LRs are really good on this banner. I actually haven't tested them, but from what I heard, the 3 Demon Slayer characters here are all really good, and the other 3 LRs are also pretty decent. But the part where it actually gets really interesting is the characters that are actually easier to get. So when you start summoning on this banner and you're not sure what to look out for, except the LRs and secrets, which are obviously going to be really good, the characters you should look out for are Silver Crusader here, the Ratio Sorcerer, Yatta, Melee, and Mage Child. Those characters are really good when you start playing the game, and they can carry you through a lot of content. The other characters are also obviously really good, but I don't know how beginner friendly they are compared to the ones I just mentioned. Then, as you guys can see, the banner's about to change, and let's see which banners I get. There you go. Okay, and Dragonheart is still up, but we did get Beyond Imagination now. But there's actually a secret trick you can do in this game, and I just did it. As you guys can see, I'm in a random public server. If you jump between servers, you can actually get different banners. So right here, as you guys can see, it's been 2 minutes for me and the banners are completely different. So I'm going to quickly jump around servers until I can find the banner I'm looking for. And the reason why I'm going to be looking for this banner is because once you're done summoning on the dream banner and you manage to get all of the characters that I recommended, that's the next banner that I'm going to recommend you to summon on.
A few moments later.
Alright, that actually took kind of long, but I did manage to find the banner, and it's the Stardust Crusader banner. And the reason why is every single character on this banner is just insane. Gojo is amazing for farming. Geto is one of the best characters in the game. Peem is an amazing support, and Josa here is actually a character that you need to have in order to get one of the best characters in the game right now. So all of these LRs are really good. Hikari is also a really good secret, and I guess you can also get some pretty decent ultra rares as well. Once again, you can get Silver Crusader here if you guys didn't manage to get him on the dream banner. You can also get Jono, who's a really good support. Yuji and Megumi are really good characters, and once again, as I said earlier, you can also get Ratio Sorcerer if you didn't manage to get him on the dream banner. In terms of super rares and rares though, it's kind of mid, but that's why this one is the second banner that I recommend. I recommend summoning on this one first and then Stardust Crusader banner. And I'm sure if you guys are like me, you either really like Jujutsu Kaisen or JoJo's, or you like both of them, and this banner has both of them combined. So it's just a really good banner overall. But anyways, once you're done summoning and you used up all of your puzzle pieces, you might be wondering, how do I get more puzzle pieces? And of course you're going to want more puzzle pieces if you want to get more characters. So let me show you guys how to get puzzle pieces in this game. What you want to do is come here into quests. I think this is where you're going to get basically all of your puzzle pieces, and as you guys can see right here, in daily quests you get a bunch of puzzle pieces. In weekly quests you get even more puzzle pieces, but the actual best way of getting puzzle pieces in this game is through the extra quests right here. And the reason for that is that basically when you're playing the game, you're just by default completing these quests, like clearing story. Once you're done with story, you just get a lot of puzzle pieces. By upgrading your characters, which is something you're going to be doing while you're playing the game, you're going to be getting puzzle pieces and etc. You guys get it. Basically, as long as you're playing the game, you're going to be getting puzzle pieces. So don't worry if you ever run out, because it actually stacks pretty quickly when you're just playing the game. But anyways, now that you managed to get your first characters, the next thing that you're going to want to do is actually story. And to go into story, what you want to do is press warp right here. It's not very clear, it used to be a bit easier, but what you want to do is create warp right here. And story mode is going to be the first thing that pops up when you open this menu. So the way it should look for you guys is like this. The only chapter that you're gonna have is chapter 1, but what you actually want to do, and this is a trick, it's kind of a glitch, but don't worry, it's not gonna get you banned. It's been in the game forever, ever since I started playing the game, and the devs haven't removed it yet. What you actually want to do is find someone that's doing the chapter 13 story skip. I'm actually on the Anime World Tower Defense Discord right here, as you guys can see, and you're gonna see people that are just carrying chapter 13 skips. It's very simple. It's exactly what this guy is actually explaining right here. You basically just join someone, they carry the stage for you, and even if you haven't unlocked chapter 13, it just unlocks the entire story for you once you beat it. So to beat story, what I definitely recommend is to join people, and if you're worried that it might not count all of the chapters and you might not get all the puzzle pieces, don't worry, you still get everything, you still get all of the side quests. So the next step is to join the Discord and find someone that can carry you in story. And the reason why you want to beat the entire story before you actually start farming in this game is because in order to unlock some raids, some event stages, and I think some legend stages as well, I can't remember exactly everything that gets unlocked, but one thing I know is that most of the raids are actually unlockable only once you beat story, and that's where you're going to get a lot of materials for your characters. So that's why you need to do story mode. And now that you unlocked all of the raids in the game, that means that you can actually start farming for characters. Because even though I did talk to you guys about summons, there's actually another way of first getting more characters and also evolving characters. The first thing that we're going to look at though is getting more characters, because miracle units are really good in this game. And the 2 characters that I recommend getting when you start playing the game are going to be Shining Star Idol. She's the first one you should get. She's really cheap to make and she's really good. And if you're ever confused about where to get materials, just press the question mark and it's going to tell you exactly which stage drops it. So the first thing that you're going to want to do once you get some characters in Anime World Tower Defense is get Shining Star Idol. She's going to be your money unit for most of the game, and even though I have better options now, I still use her sometimes, so she's just really worth getting. And then the next character that I would actually recommend is Power Reaper. Power Reaper isn't actually that hard to get. They did make it slightly longer to farm. Now you need to get some clear stages, which you didn't have to do before. As you guys can see, I didn't do it and I do have him. But Power Reaper is a really good character. He leads youth by 130%. I know I haven't gone over leader skills yet, but don't worry, we're about to go over it. Basically what I'm saying is this guy is really good. And now that I talked to you guys about specifically how to get characters, it's time that I talk to you guys about how to make teams in this game, because it's actually pretty complicated. So before we even start going into specific characters and specific teams, the first thing I need to know about this game is that there's an element system. If you're fire and you're attacking nature type, you're going to be doing 2 times damage, and if you're fire and you're attacking water type, you're going to be doing 0.5 times damage. And the way light and dark work is actually they both do 2 times damage to each other, which is actually kind of important because a few months ago the element system was completely different, and I think some old players don't understand how it works still. So make sure that you know how it works, because it gives you a huge advantage when you're going into game modes. But anyways, as I said, it's time I took you guys through how leader skills work, because in this game characters are all on categories which actually get buffed. For example here, Power Reaper gives a 130% attack buff to youth, which means that every character that's on the youth tag, on the youth team, gets this buff when Power Reaper is being used. So all of these characters that you can see right here, these all get buffed when Power Reaper is the leader. And I don't know how many of you guys played Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle, but if you did, it's the exact same system as leader skills in Dokkan. So if you played Dokkan, hopefully that comparison makes it a bit clearer. But if it doesn't, don't worry, because I'll explain it right here. I have a team which is a youth team, and I don't know if you guys can see it right here, but at the bottom left there's a little crown, and that crown is the character that's the leader, and that's always going to be the first character on the left. If I show you guys a different team, I have Vegito on the left and he's the leader. So whenever you're making a team in this game, the first thing that you want to look at is which character leads the team. I don't know, let's take Ichigo. He leads Master Technique by 130%. So what I would do is I would press right here in categories. The game's actually pretty good with that. It automatically puts a filter. You can do it manually as well up here, but if you press here, it puts a filter, so that's really useful. And once you press that filter, you can see every single character that's on that team. So let's say I were to make a Master Technique team right here. I'll put Ichigo, and you guys can see right here, the leader skill did change to Master Technique. And once I have my leader, I can just slap characters that are on the team. For example, I can put Dio, and I can put, I don't know, Shiro, and there we go. I have a pretty good Master Technique team. And just to summarize it very quickly, you put your leader slot in the first slot. That's going to be the one that buffs the entire team. Then you put your damage dealers. Your damage dealers have to be on the leader buff. to do a lot more damage. And then after that, you just put your buffs and your money units, and those don't have to be on the leader skill. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing, but now that you know how to make a team and that you know which characters you're going to be going for first, which hopefully should be Shining Star Idol, what you need to know is how to get the materials to actually evolve them. And what you're actually going to want to do is right here, you're going to want to come to warp, and you're going to want to create a warp once again. This is where you basically get all of the stages in this game, and there's different modes that give you all different rewards. The first ones would be raid mode and legend stages. These all give you specific materials for all of your characters, so you're going to go through that, and this is where you're going to find most of the proper materials. If you guys don't know what I mean by proper materials, don't worry, I'll explain it right now. If you go in event stages, you can also get orbs, which are specific stages that only spawn one element. And these orbs, I think basically every single character in the game needs them. It's not specific to characters, it's just specific on which type the character is, but every character needs some form of orb. So that's why I'm saying these aren't specific and the other ones were. Then there's also Metal Rush, which is the way that you get gold in this game, and I'll go into it in more detail later, but just know that it's in event stages. Then there's also Boss Rush and Random Unit, which also drop items, and I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't know why these are in event stages, because they're very similar to basically every single legend stage in the game. So just think of those two as legend stages. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, just very briefly, this is where you're gonna find all of the stages to farm items for all of your characters that you're gonna want to either craft or evolve. But there's another way that came out with the anniversary update. I'm not going to go over it in this video because I made a completely separate video on it, but that other way is item creation here, and in my opinion it's one of the best things that they've added in this game in a long time. And basically what it does is you come here and I don't know, let's take Demon Blood. You basically use those little stones that you can see right here. They're called universal material, and you can just craft as many as you want without actually having to grind the stage, which is just so much faster than having to grind every single thing manually. And as you guys can see, I have 20,000 of the universal material, so there are ways of farming it which are really good, and I did make a video on it and I'm gonna link it on the top. It should be somewhere above me right now, so definitely once you're done with watching this video, make sure to go watch that other video so that you know how to get universal materials. And with this method you can just evolve characters way faster than by just farming stages. Alright, so now what I want to cover is gold, how to get gold. And the reason why I want to go over Metal Rush is because I feel like it's a good example of how the game works. So we're gonna go in right now. I need some gold anyway, so I might as well do this. And as you guys can see, there's the enemy list right here. And for Metal Rush specifically, it's metal enemies. You can press the question mark so that it tells you exactly what metal enemies do. It tells you that metal enemies need to get critical hits in order to take damage. And I'll show you guys just very quickly. Every stage has this. Every stage just has a different enemy list. And that's actually very important for this game. But anyways, let me jump in and I'll show you guys exactly how it works. Alright, so I'm in the Metal Rush right now and I'm just going to quickly set up. My team is really cracked, so I can go really far in this. But obviously when you start the game, you're not going to have a team as good as this. But I just want to show you guys this, just so you can see some gameplay, you know, and I can also talk to you guys about other things. But one of the important things about this game, and no other games have it, so I thought I should probably explain it to you. There's a system here, there's food, and you want to buy food because as your character attacks, there's a stamina bar right here. The stamina actually decreases with every attack, and you want to make sure it doesn't get to 0, otherwise the character stops attacking. But yeah, so that system, you're actually only going to find it in insane and nightmare stages. You're not going to find it when you're doing normal stages, so that might be something that you want to keep in mind. But it's not actually that big of a problem. You literally just go in here, you buy some food. The food gets delivered, there's just like a delay before you get the food, and then you can feed your characters. You just press feed all and it just feeds all of them. My Vegito now has full stamina. So yeah, that's how food works in this game. So in the meantime, I want to talk to you guys about how to actually know which characters to go for in this game, because as you guys can see, I have Vegito, I have Hakari, but how do you know which characters are good, which characters are bad? And for that, there's two different ways of doing it. I'm going to pull up the Discord once again. Okay, so when you're in the Discord server, there's two ways to know which characters are really good. And just like any other tower defense games, you just go in the tier list area and you look at which characters are the best. So this would be the tier list for I think every color in the game. But I don't actually like doing it that way. What I would recommend, especially when you're new, is going into strats. Oh, alright, I lost. As you guys can see, I made 2 million gold from one run, which is insane. I didn't even use all my buffs, so I could have gotten a bit more, but it's fine. But the way that I like doing it is actually going into strats right here, and you go through some of the difficult stages in the game. For example, right here, there's a team that's being used to clear one of the hardest stages in the game, and that team has Lido, Killua, and Uno, so that tells me, okay, I should probably get those characters. And this is how I do it, because the people that actually make these strats always make sure to use either really easy characters to get or characters that are really cheap to evolve. So it's usually where I go when I don't really know which character to evolve next. If you want to have fun in this game, I'm going to contradict myself, but I would actually recommend you also look at the meta units at the same time. And what you should do is just pick one that you really like, whether it's from your favorite anime or you just think it's really strong, and you just set yourself the goal that you're going to get that unit. And the reason you're going to do that is it's going to give you a list of items that you need to get, and to get those items, obviously you're going to need to get characters before, because as you're going to start farming for that really strong unit, you're going to realize that you're missing some of the weaker units. So as you're actually getting one of the best units in the game, you can also start evolving some cheaper units along the way. So over time, that's going to make your account really good, and you're still going to be having a lot of fun on this game. And the last thing that we're going to be going over in this video is going to be traits. And the reason why I kept it as last in this video is because it's actually not that important. The game's been out for a year and a half, and traits only got added in the anniversary update, which was a few months ago now. So unlike other games where you need the best traits and stuff like that, even if you don't have traits at all, you're still going to be just fine in this game. The traits are more for fun. But there are a few things I want to go over when you're re-rolling for traits in this game, especially since it's new. The first thing I want to say is don't underestimate these purple and golden traits. Even though I'm sure all of you guys want those mythical rainbow traits and stuff like that, those traits are also really good. For example, let me roll on Wukong right now. He's one of the best units in the game, I'm pretty sure. Okay, Entrepreneur is really good on cash units, but he's not a cash unit, so I'm going to re-roll it. But for example, Entrepreneur, if you ever got that on Shining Star Idol, I would keep it, even if Golden is better, because Entrepreneur is still really good. Obviously, it depends on how many trait rerolls you have. Deadeye is really good as well, for example, especially on support. If you have a 25% range buff, that's insane. But, oh, we got Golden. That's kind of unlucky. But let me just keep re-rolling. Let's see. Okay, I got Deadeye. I'm not even upset because Deadeye is really good. Some of my favorite traits in this game aren't even the rainbow traits. For example, the honored one, in my opinion, is terrible, because unlike anime adventures where unique was the craziest thing ever, the honored one actually skills cost pretty significantly when you're placing a character, which actually makes a lot of characters in this game a lot more situational if you get the honored one on them, which isn't really always what you're looking for. And compared to that rainbow trait, there's other traits I really like. For example, momentum and giant slayer. Giant slayer I really love. A 40% attack increase is insane, guys, and on top of that, you do 50% extra damage to bosses. It's really good for every single damage dealer in this game, and I have it on a lot of characters. And then momentum as well just makes your characters attack insanely fast, which is also really fun. So yeah, I just wanted to go over traits really quickly and just tell you guys that basically every trait in this game is fun, as long as you don't get Dark Summoner though. Dark Summoner is really bad. Same with Elementalist, honestly. But all the other ones are really fun and they're all really good. Anyways, that's going to be it for this guide. I'm pretty sure I covered everything, and I hope it was useful to all of you new players. And even if you're not new, maybe it helped you out with a thing or two. But yeah, that's it for this video. And as always, if you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.